So what is InsurePal? InsurePal, it's a social proof insurance platform. Insurance industry, it's tremendously big industry, operating with 7 trillion of US dollars annually, and the industry will have to change. What we believe will change the industry is the blockchain technology. So you see the blockchain is taking off, and the industry, banking industry, all financial industry, they will have to adapt, they will have to accept new models. So in the following few slides, I will try to explain to you what InsurePal can do for insurance and how InsurePal can change the insurance. So let's start from the blockchain business transactions, which will be, I think, the future opportunity for insurance. Let's assume today that you have two people living in a totally different part of the world and they want to do a business transaction among themselves. Let's assume that one guy from Albania wants to sell a mobile phone to the guy in Central Africa. Because of weak identity disclosure on a blockchain, now they don't do it because it's a trust issue. You know, if they set up a model that the guy from Central Africa, if this guy has to pay upfront for the phone, then the guy has a problem because he does not know whether he will receive a phone and if the phone will be in a working condition. If they do it vice versa, so that the guy from Africa, if the guy from Albania sends the iPhone to the guy from Africa, and then he is afraid that he will never receive the money. So what we can do that they will do the transaction. You can do a classical escrow account and they can put money onto the escrow, but it costs a lot of money and it's complex. The simplest way would be that the transaction would be insured. Not only that they have to define what they will do, but they say, okay, we will set up a penalty fee if somebody is breaching the conditions they agreed up front, then they will get the penalty fee. The other party, they will get the penalty fee. If the penalty fee is in the value of the mobile phone, most probably they will feel comfortable to do this transaction. And here's the trick. So the penalty fee can be insured. It means if something goes wrong with the transaction, then the arbitrage model will take care of the transaction and somebody will rule out who is breaching the contract and the other party will get the penalty fee. Because the penalty fee is insured, they can be pretty sure that at the end they will get the money compensation for the transaction. And this then gives the necessary trust to the transaction that the transaction will start flowing. But, so this is how it should work. But if you would do a classical insurance on that kind of the transaction with weak identity disclosure, the premium price would be tremendously high. It could be around 30–40%. And nobody will pay 30–40% just to do one transaction. And here InsurePal comes into the play because with the social proof and because of the social proof, the price of the insurance for this transaction goes tremendously down. Why and how? So let's say that whoever wants to do the business transaction on an InsurePal on a blockchain, they have to sign a policy with the insurance company to cover their liability. And the exposure on the policy can be pretty fair, $10,000 US. And the premium price can be 1% of this value, $100. Most probably people, they would be willing to pay $100 US to be insured and to be able to do the business transactions. And the tricky part of the InsurePal is the social proof. What does it mean, the social proof? It means that in case of breaching the contract, insurance company will pay out damage, but there will be a deductible, a participation of people, you know, to collect the money from, and these people are actually vouching for this guy doing the transaction. So this guy now has some motivation to be honest. Why? because otherwise his social network endorsing him and being financially exposed will suffer. The insurance company will collect money from them. So this is now the model which can then go recursively, it can go transitively onto many nodes. So endorsers can then have endorsers behind this guy, and if everybody is playing fair and honest, there will be many transactions, and with InsurePal we can calculate for each node, we can calculate so-called trust score. So we know whom we are dealing with, and this trust score will even make future transactions more easy. As you can see, this model works also in some countries which are very corrupt, because in every society you have a subset of people willing to play fair. And these people willing to play fair, they will point out each other, and they can join InsurePal and they can do transactions. And once again, because of the social proof, the price of the insurance, the price of the premium goes down. And not only that the price of the premium goes down, people willing to vouch for other people, they will get a reward to do that. So their motivation is in a way that they will get more reward to vouch for other people, then the money will go out from their account because of the claims, because of the exposure. So they will expel bad people and they will try to invite good people to join them. So this is how we see the future economy of business transaction on a blockchain. You have insurance, I explained this. You will have an identity system which on one side keeps blockchain transactions anonymous unless somebody does some crime, and then it can be disclosed. And then you have an arbitrage model. Smart contracts, they will always execute, but nobody guarantees that actually what is written in a smart contract will actually be done in the real world. And in case of any disputes, there should be a model, that the community first tries to sort out the dispute, and at the end, there will be some Supreme Court equivalent which will be doing the final ruling, who is right or who is wrong. But because of the social pressure, because of the trust score, people, they know if they will go and they are wrong and they will go ahead, they will lose their trust score. And so they are motivated to play fair, to be honest, and most probably to do the majority of disputes to sort out by themselves or by the community. This concept does not exist in insurance industry, so we patented it. It's a worldwide patent filed, and it means that whoever in the future wants to do a social proof, they will have to do it on the InsurePal platform. So it could be quite a big story. So what about the insurance of today? I was speaking about $7 trillion industry. So we can do, as I explained, blockchain business transactions of the future, but we can do a property insurance of today, life and health insurance of today. Let me give you a quick example how we can do that. What is wrong with today's insurance? Segmentation is pretty bad. So today, let's say diligent and responsible people, they are paying for bad ones. And this is not fair. So how InsurePal can change this, that, diligent and responsible people will stop overpaying for bad ones. So this is an example of a motor insurance. We pretty well know how it works. So let's have a model. Let's have a John. And let's assume that John, he's a safe, diligent, responsible driver, and he had no claims for 10 years. And obviously, because of no claims in that long period, he's overpaying his insurance. And with InsurePal, John can save a huge amount of money. In this example, he can, out of $1,000 US, he can save $400 US, which is a lot. But he has to find a friend or family member who is willing to endorse him. What does it mean to endorse him? Not only to say, look, I know that John, he's a safe driver, but he has to put money behind his saying. So in this example, we have a Mary. She knows John pretty well, and she's willing to vouch for him. What does it mean? Mary, she will be financially exposed. So in case of at-fault claims from John's side in next 1 year, Mary, she will be losing money. So this is now the motivation that Mary does a smart decision, so that she is endorsing a right guy. But not only that, that Mary can will be financially exposed, she will be rewarded to do that. She gets equivalent of 100 US dollars of IPL tokens upfront to do that. And she can immediately go to the exchange and sell the tokens and buy a new shoes, or she can keep the tokens for her upcoming insurance. So in case of no claims, everybody is extremely happy. John saved 400 US dollars, Mary got 100 US dollars upfront, and they most probably will continue this in the next year and in all the upcoming years. And in case of claims, John knows that Mary, the insurance company, they will deduct some money from Mary. And he likes Mary, they are friends, so he does not want to do that. So he's motivated to behave diligent and responsible. Even in case of some small scratch on a car, he will not file in the claims. Why? Because then insurance company will deduct money from Mary, and he will ruin his friendship with Mary, probably. So this model works perfectly, and most probably what will happen in the next 6 months when Mary's policy is due is that Mary will ask John to do the same, so that John will be vouching for Mary. So we are building a community of diligent and responsible people pointing themselves out. And these guys, they stop paying for the bad ones. And this is the motivation. This is how the insurance industry can change with the social proof. So this is a techie slide now explaining how it will be done on a blockchain. I will just show this to you and I will skip it. So what about the tokens? What we will do with the tokens we are selling now? Token first, it's as you saw, it will be used as a reward. So the endorsers, they get the tokens and they can sell the tokens, and this is the reward to being financially exposed. Not only this, in this case with John, John will be offered either to get a cash discount or to get tokens, and he will be offered more tokens. Token will, on a ledger around the token, there will be written information who vouched for whom. And out of this information, how I explained to you in the slide with the business transactions, we can calculate a trust score. It could be a universal trust score, of trustworthiness of people you are doing business with on a blockchain. So, what's the potential of this idea? Let's assume that in a few years' time, we get 1% of a market share on this platform. So simple math shows that 1% out of 7 trillions, it's 70 billion of US dollars going into tokens. So this is then our ICO. We'll do token sales on 16th of January. We just started with the pre-sales. So anybody interested can contact us on a Telegram or on a social media, and we are more than willing to explain what we are doing. We are collecting from 5 to 18 millions of US dollars. With this money we will use to set up the platform, to do the UK pilot, and to do maybe some more pilots, and to do everything necessary to set up the platform up and running. Insurance, it's a difficult industry because it's heavily regulated. And you cannot do much upfront before you do everything and to get the license and the approval. And this is what we will do. So we will set up a platform that the insurance company can start using social proof. And not only this, we will do one pilot by ourselves, and this will be a motor pilot in United Kingdom, very competitive market where we will prove that this model works perfectly. So this is InsurePal. So you're more than welcome to join us and to ask questions. Thank you.